Hi all, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are doing good. Today I am going to discuss about intravenous fluids, that is IV fluids, the different types of IV fluids, its action and indications. Let's move on to the topic. Intravenous fluids or IV fluids are specially formulated liquids that are injected into a vein to prevent or treat dehydration. Before moving into the topic, let's see the anatomy of body fluids. As you all know, body fluids are divided into intracellular fluid ICF and extracellular fluid ECF. From the name itself, the meaning is there. Intracellular fluid means the fluid within the cell, that is cytosol, and extracellular fluid means the fluid outside the cell, which consists of interstitial fluid, intravascular fluid, lymph, and transcellular fluid such as CSF, synovial fluid, and so on. In the picture, you can clearly see intracellular fluid, that is the fluid within the cell, and extracellular fluid, which is the fluid present outside the cell. Let's see what this fluid contains. So the intracellular fluid consists of water, electrolytes, and protons, and extracellular fluid consists of cations and anions. Cations such as sodium, potassium, and calcium, and anions, which includes chloride and bicarbonates. Here we can see about the mode of transportation, that is, how the fluid exchange takes place between intracellular fluid and extracellular fluid. So, the intracellular fluid and extracellular fluid are separated by a semi-permeable cell membrane. That means a membrane which consists of pores. The fluid moves from one compartment to other compartment through a process called osmosis. So the fluid moves from intracellular fluid to extracellular fluid through a process called osmosis. So what do you mean by osmosis? It is the movement of solvent from low concentration to high concentration. One more thing you need to keep in mind, the concentration of the intracellular fluid and the extracellular fluid remains almost same. Let's have a quick look at this picture in order to understand the mode of transportation. So this is the first compartment, for instance, intracellular fluid, and this is the second compartment, that is extracellular fluid, which is separated by a semi-permeable cell membrane, and these are all the contents which consist of solute and solvent. Let me explain with an example. Let's consider the first compartment with a spoon of sugar in a cup of water. The second compartment with 2 spoons of sugar in a cup of water. So here, sugar is the solute and water is the solvent. Concentration is the amount of solute in the solvent, that is the amount of sugar in the water. And first and the second compartment is separated by a semi-permeable membrane. Now, the concentration differs from the first compartment to the second compartment. That is, the first compartment is with less concentration because only 1 spoon of sugar in a cup of water, comparatively to the second compartment, which consists of 2 spoons of sugar in a cup of water. So now the water moves from the first compartment, that is less concentration, to the second compartment, that is with more concentration, through a semi-permeable membrane by a process called osmosis. So now you got a clear idea about the fluid exchange between intracellular fluid and extracellular fluid. So here you can see the first compartment with less concentration and the second compartment with more concentration. So if the concentration remains same, there will not be any exchange among the intracellular fluid and the extracellular fluid. If the concentration differs, in order to compensate that, the fluid moves from the low concentrated area to the high concentrated area. So in the second picture, you can see the water from the first compartment moves to the second compartment in order to equalize the concentration. Now I hope you got a clear idea about the anatomy of body fluids and its exchange. Let's see about different types of IV fluids. So we have mainly three types of IV fluids: isotonic, hypotonic, and hypertonic. From the name itself, the meaning is there. Tonic means concentration, iso means same. So isotonic is same concentration of fluid, sugars, and salt comparing to blood. Hypotonic. Hypo means less, tonic means concentration. Lower concentration of fluid, sugars, and salt than blood. Hypertonic. Hyper means high, tonic means concentration. Higher concentration of fluid, sugars, and salt than blood. Here we can see about the actions of IV fluids. That is how these IV fluids act on cells. So IV fluids are something we administer through vein. So that is considered as extracellular fluid. So if you administer isotonic fluid, as the concentration is same to the blood, it will not change anything in the cell. So the size of the cell remains same. Isotonic, normal. Hypotonic IV fluids, as the concentration is less comparing to the blood, the fluid from the extracellular fluid moves inside the cell, which cause the cell to swell. So just remember, hypotonic means hippopotamus. The third one is hypertonic. As the concentration is high comparing to blood, the water from the intracellular fluid moves to the extracellular fluid, which makes the cell to shrink, end up with skinny cells. Just remember, hyperactive people will always look skinny. And in this picture, you can clearly see hypertonic, that is, the extracellular fluid is with more concentration comparing to the intracellular fluid. So it will try to take out the water from the cell, which cause the cell to shrink, that is skinny cells. Here isotonic. Isotonic means same, that is the concentration of extracellular fluid and the intracellular fluid remains same. So there will not be any changes in the size of the cell. It remains same. The third one is hypotonic. So here the extracellular fluid is less concentrated comparing to the intracellular fluid. So the water from the extracellular fluid moves inside the cell, which cause the cell to swell. Just remember, hypotonic means hippopotamus. Let's see some examples of isotonic IV fluids. 0.9% sodium chloride, that is normal saline, 5% dextrose, 5% dextrose in 0.225% sodium chloride, and ringer lactate. Isotonic, as the concentration is same comparing to the blood, the size of the cell remains same, normal. Here are some examples of hypotonic IV fluids. 0.45% sodium chloride, that is half NS, 0.225% sodium chloride, that is 1/4 NS, and 0.33% sodium chloride, that is 1/3 NS. Hypotonic, that means less concentration comparing to the blood. So the fluid will move inside the cell and cause the cell to swell. So just remember, hypotonic IV fluids means hippopotamus. Here we can see some examples of hypertonic IV fluids. 3% sodium chloride, that is 3% NS, 5% dextrose in 0.9% sodium chloride, that is DNS, 5% dextrose in 0.45% sodium chloride, that is half DNS, 10% dextrose and 5% dextrose in RL. Hypertonic, that means high concentration comparing to blood. It will take out the water from the cell, cause the cell to shrink, finally end up with skinny cells. So just remember, hypertonic means hyperactive people looks skinny. In this slide, we can see about the indications of administering IV fluids. So isotonic IV fluids to treat hypovolemia and dehydration. Hypotonic IV fluids in case of cellular dehydration, diabetic ketoacidosis, hyperglycemic hyperosmolar non-ketotic syndrome, and hypernatremia. Hypertonic solutions to treat hyponatremia and brain injury. Thank you so much for watching this video. Now I'm sure that you know the different types of IV fluids and how it acts on the cell. If you find this really helpful, kindly like, share this to our friends and subscribe my channel. My channel name is Chebin Shine. Don't forget to press the bell icon button so that you will get the notifications whenever I am uploading new videos. Thank you all once again. See you all again with one more interesting topic. Until then, it's bye from Chebin. Bye-bye. Take care.